and welcome to today's Facebook Live. My name's Jenny McCormac. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator and I'm based in the market town of Brackley, which is in the heart of the UK. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is the second session for this week for my pick and mix, and basically I'm sort of mixing and matching things that don't necessarily all go together. So yesterday I did this particular design using two stamp sets. Hope you can see those okay. I'll move those up a little bit. And these were using Palette Thoughts for the background stamp and Bloom and Grow for the main stamp. Hi Carol with an E, which I punched out with the Big Shot dies. So that was yesterday, so that was mixing two different stamp sets. Today we're going to be mixing punches and papers, and the particular punch I'm using, it's quite difficult in this light, let me turn it maybe around that way, is the Jar of Flowers punch. Now this has a stamp set that goes with it to cut out the jar, both the main jar here and the sort of half bottle. It punches out this complete piece here. Sorry, I've got all my lights on, it's reflecting rather, isn't it? Get it in there just like that. So what I thought I would do today is show you how you can stamp onto some patterned paper, and in this case punch it out, but you could just punch it out without stamping. I've got the bloom of flowers here on the top and a sentiment at the top there too. So I'm basically mixing those all up. So hi Katie and hi Lynn, thanks for joining us. So for this card I thought I would use our bumblebee colours. This wasn't supposed to be a finished card, I was just trying it out to see how it was going to work. Ended up making it into a card, so I've used a little bit of the ribbon here. So what I'm going to be doing is using this as my base card, which is that lovely yellow bumblebee colour, and then I've got a white layer which is going to sit on the top of that, and I'm going to use this bumblebee pattern for my jar. So I'm going to make it basically look like a vase rather than a jar, and I'm actually going to use the sunflower stamps. I know you can't see that particularly well, but these sunflowers here, I thought that was in keeping with the colour of the bumblebee. So that's my plan. So I do have the jar stamp to hand, and obviously you can mix and match these, so you could take the jar but put a different bunch of flowers on top, of course. So nice and straightforward. Just going to ink up the jar itself with early espresso like that, and you can choose obviously where you want to stamp this. So if you had a particularly pretty design of flowers, for example, then you could choose which part of that you wanted to pick out. So all I'm going to do is turn my punch over so I can see where the slot is and pop that out like so. Now you could just punch this if you wanted to on its own without the stamping, and it's got the shaping obviously of the jar, but you could get away with that just being a vase or a jar on its own. So you could have it with or without the stamped image if you preferred. So this is my white card that I'm going to put my sunflowers on. So what I'm going to do is use this as a guideline as to how much space I need to leave. So if I wanted my sentiment underneath, then I know that I could move this up a little bit higher to leave me a sentiment. So I know that this is the right size for my card. So I'm just going to leave that there like that as a guideline. Ink up my sunflower stamp, like so. Sorry if I picked that up off camera. I'm so sorry. There we go. There's my Italy espresso ink. And I'm going to position this up on here. Like so. So there are my sunflowers. And the nice thing about this is you can sort of move this up to cover up as much as little of that gap as you want. And you can also, which is what I'm going to do, add some ribbon. So I've got this lovely matching bumblebee ribbon. So that's one of the things that we do particularly well, is have coordinating papers, card, ribbon, ink and the like. And so I'm either going to wrap that round there like so, or I'll just put a bow on the top. I haven't quite decided. And I'm also going to put a sentiment across the bottom. I'm just going to use my blends pens to colour my sunflower in, so I'm going to do that fairly quickly. I have them to hand, so I've got Mango Melody and Daffodil Delight, but I also want a little bit of brown, so I've got soft suede here for the centres. Oh, that's dark, isn't it? But it will do. So I'm just going to do the centres of these sunflowers, like so. This one here. Like that. And I use a little bit of a lighter colour. For this bit here. And I'll also use that for this here, which is a bit like a bulrush, but I'm not 100% sure. There we go. And there's some tiny little flowers here, and then the rest, apart from this one, is all leaves. So I will just add a little bit of green for the leaves and the foliage. Hi Jill. Thank you, Lynn. I've moved my camera today, and obviously it's all further up, so I do apologise. So I'm just going to add in a little bit of greenery here. I hope that's better now. I love filling in this particular stamp set. Jar of Flowers is a really nice one, and it's our 24-hour sale today, so there's 10% off most things, and I'm certain that the Jar of Flowers stamp set is part of that, and I'm pretty sure that the punches as well. Let's just do a little bit of green here, like so. And sometimes I just fill in where there's a gap behind, I just fill that in with a little bit of green, so there's not too much white behind it. There's that one, and then I'm going to use a bit of Daffodil Delight and Mango Melody, I think. So this is dark Daffodil Delight, and light Mango Melody, so sort of a shade between them really. So just I'm going to add this here like that, and I'm going to blend that out with the Daffodil Delight. I might need to go a little bit darker. Oh no, that's okay, that's dark Daffodil Delight. Just take a slightly darker tone. Sorry, nearly moved it out of your way yet again. So this is dark Mango Melody. I'm using for the sort of centre area and anywhere where it's highlighted, and also where the leaves sort of come out behind. Another one, and this one here. So you could use your own colouring method for this. You could use watercolour pencils, you could use a small amount of Stampin' Write markers, as it's a small area. And I'm going to do this one the same colour. Okay, and this is the light, so I'm just turning this round to shade it out. We had a beautiful sunset this evening. I was out with my dog playing on the green, and it was a beautiful sky. So I'm hoping the English saying red sky at night, shepherd's delight will actually hold true for me, and that it's a nice day tomorrow. So just colouring this in fairly quickly. I'm just looking at the shadows. Quite a big shadow in the way, sorry. So I hope everybody has had a productive day and has been able to do something with it, whatever that might be. Might be working, could be housework, could be looking after somebody, popping to see somebody, anything like that. So I'm just blending those in together. I'm not adding a huge amount of detail. Just put these little buds on here, but I've kept the colour scheme the same because I'm going to be putting it onto our bumblebee card and using our bumblebee ribbon. Okay, let me pop these back out of the way. So I've got my jar, which I'm going to pop onto there. As I said, you could use it without the stamp, like so. It's entirely up to you. And what I'm going to do is just position that to stamp my sentiment at the bottom before I put it all on the card. So I'm going to use Early Espresso, and let me see, I've got some sentiments from here, Inspiring Iris. Sending hugs, prayers and lots of love. I like that one. And I think that will fit nicely. Hugs, prayers and lots of love. Now it's very easy to mix and match these sets up. So it would be very easy to take the jar and put the irises in it, or this flower in it, or some carnations. So don't think you've only got to use the flowers, for example, that are in this particular set. Do feel free to mix and match your sets around. Just going to pop this on the block and I don't think I've used this one, so I'm just going to stamp it on the corner of my paper. Stamp it up here. Hugs, prayers and lots of love. Perfect. Let's bring this out of the way. So I know that's going to there roughly. You could do it at an angle if you wanted to. So if you're not very happy about doing things straight, then do them deliberately at an angle. If you're not, especially if you're not very good at sort of centralizing, then make it deliberately off. Okay, so I can pop this on with could use that side as well. I'm going to pop this on with dimensionals, I think, and then I'll add my ribbon. I'm just going to pop a couple onto there. And I think what I'll do is pop this onto my base layer first. It's a lot easier to do without any dimensionals behind it, that's for sure. If you're using wet glue, it's not quite as critical. I'm using my seal, like so. It's a nice strong glue. Pop this in the centre. Okay, so here's my jar. So I'm just going to pop that on there. I've got a loose hair. I can see it. It's from my jumper. I've got a fluffy jumper on. There we go. And so to finish this off, I'm going to add the ribbon. I think I might do a little bow. Let's have a look and see. Just fold that through. It's been a lovely day today. Beautifully bright and sunny all day. But I have no idea what's in store for us overnight. So just making that slightly smaller because obviously I want it in relation to the jar. So I'm just going to pull this either side just to make it slightly smaller. Tighten it up and then just snip the ends off. That's one. Two. Love that ribbon. Yellows are some of my favourite colours, you might have realised. Oh, hi Christine. Oh, bless you, Molly. Take care, my darling. And hi Jeanette. I hope everything goes all right for you. I'll be thinking of you and your family. Okay, so I'm going to pop that on with a glue dot, which I have here. So I'm just going to take the bow and pop it on. So this pick and mix is punches and papers. There we go. So just trying to mix it up a little bit to help you get more out of what you have in your craft stash, because we all need to make the most of things. So that is my one from now, and this is the one that I did earlier. So this is exactly the same set called Jar of Flowers, which is this one here, and it has 4 different flower heads, so I've just obviously used 2 from there. This one I moved further down because I knew I needed the height for the flowers, which is why I ended up with the sentiment at the top. And for this one I put it across at an angle So if you're not very confident about stamping it centrally, then make a deliberate ploy to put it on the side. So that was Jar of Flowers, and then I've just used the flower punch or the jar punch to punch out the jars with some designer paper. So I've used the Bumblebee, which is from the In Colour designer paper, and this one here is from the Lots of Patterns set of 6x6 papers. I quite fancied this one as well. I thought this would look rather nice in the coral, so I might do another one of those a bit later on. So that is it for today. I'm trying to keep my Facebook Lives slightly shorter for this week for my pick and mix, so that I'm not boring you too much or going on too long. One thing I did want to show you is a card that I finished on Friday after doing the split negative technique, and that's this one here. While I was doing the technique live, and I stamped the pink on white and white embossed on pink, one thing I did was cut out a panel to make this smaller, giving me this border. And whilst I was doing the live, I said what a good idea it would be to actually use that border on a card, and this was what I did when the live had finished. So you get this double effect. So not only have you got these switching over, but you've got the borders switching as well. So I just wanted to share that with you. So if you haven't seen that Facebook Live, you can hop back to Friday where it was on, or you can hop to YouTube and look for split negative technique. I think there was two of them, two different ones. So by all means go and have a look, but I just wanted to show you what the effect was with this, using this split as well as the frame. So there we are. That's all I wanted to cover today. Let me have a look and see if I've got any additional questions. No, nothing extra. Do remember that our 10% sale is on today. That's the majority of items on the catalogue for the annual catalogue. Doesn't apply to items in the Christmas catalogue, the one that runs till the end of December. But if there is anything you want, then you can either place your order online at my shop, or if it's easier for you, just email your order to me and I'll place it for you and I'll take payment accordingly. Okay, so thanks very much indeed. I appreciate you joining me this afternoon. If you're not joining me live, then feel free to make any comments, but I hope you like what we've done with our pick and mix today, and we've got a different pick and mix tomorrow, and for Friday when we get to it, I'd like you to choose two things that I'm going to pick and mix. So any suggestions you've got of things that you want me to put together generically, so like, you know, stamps and a punch or papers and punch or whatever, then put some suggestions on my Gemini Crafts page or add it to this video, and I'll see what I can do as your customer's choice for Friday. So thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I appreciate your time, and I will catch up with you tomorrow. That's Wednesday at 10 o'clock in the morning here in the UK for my next pick and mix. Thank you so much everybody. Take care, stay safe, look after each other. Keep crafting if you can. Thank you.